Hey folks, it's Matt Rabbit back in World of Warcraft doing more solo raid stuff. It's kind of a continuation. It's going to be a three-parter I determined after all the editing is done. Black Temple, a 25-man raid from Burning Crusade. This is part 2. So if you missed part 1, I think that covered the first 3 bosses of that. And obviously I think I had some footage of the Magtharian's lair with another character. But yeah, this one here, as you see, just basically continuing onward in the kind of in the when you're looking at the map of the instance, it kind of in the southern part. Did a lot of big pulls again. This is the area where there's a lot of orcs, and you eventually fight Death Knight called Terran Gornfiend. That was a really easy fight, but the interesting thing is why I'm doing this, in case you're not wondering, if you're new. I'm doing this mainly for transmog gear. This guy had some really great transmog gear that dropped from him, so I was pretty happy with this one. But it's it's another boring encounter, very long. For a Death Knight, at least it seems like it's pretty easy, at least right now, 5.1. But yeah, most of the encounters in here were pretty easy, except for there were certain ones in which you will see I did have some stumbling blocks on the last encounter you'll see today. No, the second to last one I think it is. The one where you're fighting the 3 different essences, if I could say that right. I know the middle one called Desire was the tough one, and I mentioned that last time. But this time I did get by, so this is actually going to end up being, once we're all done here, a complete run. So I was able to do it, and this is like one of those moments where I'm just sort of happy to, you know, a sense of accomplishment or something like that for myself. I'm not really a hardcore player, and none of my gear was really good. So for me, this is just like going into these things blind pretty much, and they're pretty exciting. So I actually did transmog this cape and axe that you're looking at here into my outfit. Just a little change of pace, and I actually kind of liked them. But yeah, so now we're going up kind of to the northern part of the map. The one hallway is kind of blocked off though. But the next 2 bosses, this one here, this one coming up, I do a lot of big pulls in this section too. But it's another pretty long, boring tank and span kind of battle. I wonder a lot of these things, if you're taking DPS in here, whether they just get slaughtered too easily, whether it's just Death Knights and stuff like that. Maybe a Paladin could just steamroll all this stuff, and maybe if I brought my Rogue in here, she'd probably die pretty easy. So I don't know. I may someday go back with some of my DPS people and try some of this stuff out with them. But yeah, so it was in the next video you'll see I do run into some problems, much more than what you'll see in this video. The despair fight did give me a little bit of problem, but it really was actually quite easy compared to the last time when I died against that in that encounter. So yeah, I was pretty happy with this whole thing. Trying to remember now what this guy's name is. My preview screen is so small I can't really read the writing, so sometimes I have a difficult time with that. So you'll have to forgive me. I'll be able to look at this after in full high resolution and go, oh, that's the guy's name. But yeah, this guy here, he was pretty easy. Didn't have too many problems with him either. He's got a lot of things that stack on you. Like once you're done with this battle, you kind of have to let it drop off or something for the next fight. Yeah, I even cut here because it just kind of went a long time. But like I said, I'm not really exactly a hardcore raider or anything like that. I don't play with groups too much, and I mostly go into these things blind, or sort of blind, because the thing is I've gone into a lot of these before with people. These raids you'll see, maybe I ran them once or twice, but I have a fuzzy memory. So the thing is I end up forgetting half of what I did in these encounters, and I'm usually being carried anyway for people that know the encounter. I'm just sort of there, and I just sort of react to a few things. But yeah, this is the one. This is the fight I've been talking about. It's got 3 phases. The first and the third are pretty easy. They're just tank and spankers. So you'll see here, this guy here, he's not that tough. So I saved my cooldowns for that middle phase. I thought it was despair, but I'm saying it wrong. It's actually desire. Desire is the one. Sorry. Yeah, so the aspect of desire, or the essence of desire. So she has this tendency of maybe making you lose control of your character. Some of the things you can do you can interrupt some of them, and some of them you can't. I found in this one that I did enough. I was either doing enough damage, or I was just not taking enough damage that it really mattered this time around. Last time I just lost control. I never gained control again the whole fight. That was the problem. I wasn't interrupting at the right time. And even here you'll see I don't interrupt sometimes, and I seem to be able to pull it off. So saving the army of the dead and some of my other cooldowns for this phase was probably a good idea. She never really gets me down a lot though, so it seems like this one wasn't that tough, but it actually was. I guess maybe it's just luck. Last time I was unlucky, and this time I really it wasn't too bad. So the problem I have, I want to do what's the other one? Growl's Lair. And that first encounter in Growl's Lair is you lose control of your character, and you're trying to get the healer down, and it's a tough one. So that's the same problem I have with Tempest Keep, with the Kel'Thas encounter. I've tried to do that solo for years. Well, not years, but for a while now. I was trying back in the last expansion, and I was trying a lot now with some of the changes, and now they got some level 90s, and I can't do it. I can't even get to him, really. It's just because his little council there is what stumbles me up. I always have problems once all 4 of them come in, and I'm losing control of my character too much from those couple that cause that. So this one here, yeah, the third phase, just that's it. It was pretty easy. Not really a good transmog gear this time around, but I know some of these drop good stuff. So that was an offhand and a belt, I think it was. Yeah. So next phase, we're kind of going into the home stretch here, and I will show you that encounter I mentioned last time where I did a big pull, and this is where all these little concubines are and courtesans, and I pulled too many. What I didn't realize, because obviously I'm going into this whole thing blind anyway, is that they have some sort of a stunting, and this is the encounter right here. I basically pulled this room, and as you see here, there's like a slap debuff, I guess you call it, whatever you call it. And I just could not snap out of it. I'm just sitting there getting hit down, and going, oh crap, we're gonna die in a room against a bunch of floozies or something here. It's not a dignified way to go. So eventually I get a break in there and I get out, but then I have a respect for some of these packs. I don't pull them as many. Here's our last boss that I'll show today. So next video will be just the last 2, and those are the 2 that gave me obviously probably the most problems. This one here, another tank and spank, pretty easy. I even cut here because it gets monotonous and boring. Does a few things where she silences you, but so I think if you were a caster, you'd have a real problem going through this. This guy didn't have one. Maybe a paladin would have more problems with her. Whether I'm talking like tanks, so I don't know. Warrior would probably do okay though, but I don't remember really any good transmog gear falling from her this time. But the next 2 are going to be the I think it's the Illidari Council, which was tough, and actually Illidan himself. Those are the next 2 in the next video. And I'm going to slow the pace of the video down, kind of to explain what I'm doing in it, but it was those were tough, because the first one I survived it, but I was not doing it right for quite a bit of the battle. So Yeah, and the Illidan one, it was actually easier, I thought, but I did die in it. You can die, so yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you next time. Matt Rabbit signing off. Adios.